Hey, welcome to the channel. I'm Corey, and in today's video, I'm going to take a few minutes to walk you through how to set up multiple S1 and Breezo units within the ChefsTemp app. This is going to give you the ability to monitor up to 3 different S1s and up to 12 different probes. So whether it's hot and fast, low and slow, or maybe you're just getting ready to host a party, this is going to make things a lot easier for you and hopefully stress-free. I'm also going to show you how to set up a couple of alerts within the app, so that way you're not overshooting temperatures and ruining your cook. All right, so let's head inside. We'll go ahead and get those set up. So now we got to go ahead and pair our S1 and Breezos to the app. Before you get started, always make sure that you've charged your S1s completely. Your probes have a full charge. Should take only about 20 minutes to charge those. You've got a good stable power source for your Breezos. For this video, I'm using an Anker 737 power brick. Should run the Breezos for 24 hours or more. Also, make sure that you've downloaded the app from either the Android or iOS Apple App Store. You wouldn't want any of these to die during the setup process or while you're going on your cook. So we're going to go ahead and get set up. As you guys can see, I have one kit already set up. We're going to go ahead and set up an additional kit number 2 and number 3. And this is all being done on iPhone. So we're going to start with hitting our top right corner right here, the 3 dots. We're going to go to our pop-up. We're going to go to My Connections. All right, as you can see, I have kit number 1 there and its associated probes. We're going to go down here to Scan for ChefsTemp devices. ProTemp S1. And just follow the instructions. We're going to hit that top right button, make sure it's on. Well, we're already doing that, so we're going to hit Next. Gonna hit that top left button and hold it until we get the C1 display. All right, we've got our C1. Next. Now it's gonna search. Successfully connected. We've got our C2 displayed. Next, now we want to go ahead and connect this to Wi-Fi. Just remember, these devices connect to 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. They won't work with 5 gigahertz just because of the distance required, especially when trying to penetrate through the walls of your smoker or your grills. All right, so I've set up a guest network already for this video. We've got, if you hit this button right here, that's gonna auto load whatever network you're already on. I'm already connected to my 2.4 gigahertz. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and put in my password. All right, we are successfully connected. We can start cooking. There we go. All right, so that's kit number 1. Here's my kit number 2. I'm gonna name this one. So we're gonna click on that. Go to My Connections again. I'm going to go down here to the second paired one. I'm going to rename this. This is going to be going on my Gorilla Kong, so we're going to call this number 2 Kong. There we go. We've also got version 34 for our firmware, so we're up to date there. So we've got our S1 paired. We got to go ahead and test our fan to make sure it's working. So it's plugged in. We've got a button on the back that will cycle through pulse, constant, and app mode. So we want to hit that. There's our pulse. Constant on, and now app. All right, so we are good to go. This kit is now paired. All right, so now it's time to set up kit number 3. We're gonna go ahead and do the same thing. We are gonna just follow the instructions, hitting that top right corner, My Connections. We're gonna scroll down to the bottom and scan for ChefsTemp devices. Select our ProTemp S1. All right, we gotta turn on the base. Follow the instructions, top right hand corner. All right, gonna go ahead and click Next. Now we need to put it in Bluetooth mode. Hitting that top left button. We have our C1 display. And searching. All right, we are successfully connected. Time to go ahead and connect to Wi-Fi. All right, just like before, we are already connected to the network that we want to use. So we're going to hit that button. It's going to auto load it. And then we're going to go ahead and put in our password. Click next. And let the app do its thing. All right, we can go ahead and start cooking. All right, so kit number 1. Kit number 2 was the one we just previously did, and now we are on kit number 3. We're gonna go ahead and again, rename this. Top right corner, hit those 3 dots. My connections, we're gonna scroll all the way to the bottom. And this one we're gonna rename as kit number, it's gonna be number 3 KJ, because this is going on my Kamado Joe. Just helps keep track of everything a little bit easier. All right, there we go. We've got version 34 for our firmware, so we're good to go there. All right, so let's go ahead and plug in our fan. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and test, make sure we got good power. There's pulse, constant on, and app mode. Now you can test the app actually with the pulse and constant on. So we can go ahead and do constant on. Good, pulse. And as you can see, it is running. And we're gonna go ahead and turn that off. All right, and we are set up. So now that we've got the Breezos and the fans connected, we can go ahead and pair some probes. So let's go ahead and walk through that now. So we're gonna take our fully charged probe. This is kit number 3. So what I do is I add 3 colored bands that to my probes. That lets me know that it's kit number 3. And then I match the color to the probe number. The app is automatically gonna load it. So we're gonna go ahead and click our 3 little dots. You can either do my connections again or add probes. We're gonna go ahead and click on add probes right there. All right, there we go. Successfully added. There we go. We're gonna go ahead and check this one. Now because this is a Gen 2 probe, you can actually hit internal and get your little display. And I'm gonna test this one just to make sure that everything's working. And you can see the temp start to go up here in just a second. We're at 87.8 right now, 90. All right, so the probe is reading and it's transmitting. So there you go. Now the only thing left to do is to go ahead and mount these on the Kamados. So let's go ahead and head outside and we'll do that now. Hey guys, welcome back. Just got done setting up my S1 and Breezo units to both Kamados. I went ahead and set 225 for my initial cook temperature, just to get my heat soak started. As you can see behind me, the smoke is starting to clear up, so it's time to go ahead and get our food prepped and ready to go. I'm gonna be cooking a rack of beef ribs and 2 racks of pork ribs today. For that cook, I'm gonna be running 275 on the cookers, so I will go ahead and show you how to set up your app for that 275. I'm gonna walk you through setting up your probes for that desired doneness level and any alerts you're gonna need. I'm gonna go ahead and head in now because it's starting to get cold and windy. So we'll see you in a little bit. All right, so for this cook, we're gonna go ahead and use the ChefsTemp ProTemp 2+ probes. I'm gonna go ahead and find the thickest portion of that beef rib, and I'm gonna insert that probe to the minimum insertion line, which is the first line. And this is going to give us our best reading on internal and ambient temperature. We're going to do the same thing with our pork ribs. We're going to make sure we find the thickest portion of that pork rib. Make sure we're selecting right in between the 2 bones so we don't get any abnormal readings. We're going to do this for both pork ribs, make sure that we're monitoring the cook on all of our meats. Okay, so we've set 275 on our Kong temp. Now it's time to set up the probe for our beef ribs. Probe number 1 is our probe that we're gonna be using today. Right now showing 54 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and click on that. We're gonna tap setup cook. And for this one, I'm gonna do custom cook up at the top. And I'm gonna drag my slider and I'm gonna take that up to 205 degrees. I am going to click start cook in the top right corner. You can leave this menu here if you want. I prefer to go ahead and dismiss it. So I'm gonna click those and we're gonna start our cook. So it's gonna go through the algorithm, start pulling data. However, now we wanna set up some alerts. I'm gonna click on the little bell in the bottom. That's gonna give us our selection for different alerts within the app. For this one, I'm gonna put internal temperature rises above. I'm gonna turn that on. And when we get to 165, I want an alert so I can start checking to see if the bark is built, so I can start wrapping. So now we're gonna click add alert, and now we're set up. Let's see, we've got alerts for ambient temperature falls below or rises above. So we can go ahead and do one for rises above, and we're gonna take that. We're cooking at 275, so I'm gonna put this at, we'll do 300. And that will allow me to monitor max temperature and make sure the cooker doesn't get too hot. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and set our Kamado Joe for 275. So what you're gonna do is, as you can see at the very bottom of our screen, we've got 3 dots. The middle one is highlighted in orange. That's showing us that we have 3 devices currently paired. So we're gonna swipe, and there's our Kamado Joe. I'm gonna go ahead and set my temperature for that. So I'm gonna click on my settings for the fan. I'm gonna increase using that slider again to 275, and then click my back arrow, and now we're set. Now we gotta go ahead and set up the probes for the cook for these. Remember, we're doing the pork ribs. So I'm gonna click on probe number 1 and go through the same settings. We're gonna set up our cook. This one I'm gonna pick pork. We are going to go ahead and find our ribs. And for these, I'm going to go 205 as well. I'm going to select start cook. And now I'm going to set my alerts. Same thing, I'm shooting for 165 to start looking when I'm going to wrap these things. So I'm going to add the alert. And then I'm gonna set an alert for my ambient temperature to make sure it doesn't get out of control. And again, I'm gonna go to 300 degrees since I'm running 275. Add alert. And there we go. Now you can see which alerts you have. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and set up our second one. Tap again, pork, go to other, ribs. It's already defaulted to 205 since that's the last setting we had. We're gonna start the cook, and now we're gonna add our alerts again. Shooting for 165, add. Ooh. And now we are going to set ambient temperature. Set that for 300 degrees. And add. All right, so we've set up our alerts. While we're in this page, if you look at the top right, you've got an ambient temperature, that 234. Remember, with the S1, these probes will always mimic whatever the S1 is reading. However, a nifty trick, if you want to know what your grate level temps are doing, just as a tool, if you click on internal where it's showing 61 degrees in the top right, click on that, it's going to bring up your probe display. You can see all your meat sensors, track what they're doing, but you can also see the probe's ambient temperature. So that's just a little trick, help you monitor what's going on at the grate temp versus the dome temp. All right, gonna go back, and now everything's set up, so we can go ahead and start getting the ribs loaded onto the cookers. We'll see you in a little bit.
Oh yeah, rolling smoke, look at that. So time to go ahead and load up those ribs. What I like to do is when I lay my ribs out, I like to make sure that I push them together a little bit, kind of thicken them up. I don't want them stretched out. This is going to be the last time you really get to mess with these things, other than spritzing every once in a while. So you want to make sure that you set them up for a good finished shape. All right.
Hey guys, we're back outside. So we went ahead and set 275 for our cooker temp. We got our probes set up and we just got done throwing the meat on the cookers. So now we can head back inside. It's getting kind of cold and windy out here. And since this is fully automated, I'm gonna go inside, get warm. I'll check back in with you when these things are ready to wrap. We'll see you a little bit later.
All right, so I just got my first alert a few minutes ago that I'm above 165, so it's time to head outside. I'm gonna go ahead and check the bark and we should be ready to wrap. So we'll see you in a little bit.
Hey guys, and we're back. So the ribs are done. I ended up wrapping them last night and putting them in my holding oven at 150 degrees. Held them in there for about 12 hours. So we're ready to cut into these things. Let's check it out. We'll go with the pork ribs first. See how these did. Oh yeah, those came out really good. Well, just a little nice and loose, just a little bit of firmness just to keep them holding together. So that's good. Flip these over. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, that just pulls right out. Yeah, you gotta, I like a nice tender pull off the bone rib. Look at that, just falling right off. Not much to do there. All right, let's see. Oh yeah. Look at that. All right, well, let's see how it tastes. That is super juicy. Smoke profile is on point. Flavor from the seasoning, and then the apple cherry habanero glaze. Got a nice little, just a little bit of a kick to it, which is great. Super sweet though. No, that came out fantastic. Yeah. Perfect. All right, so let's check out these beef ribs. That came out great. Look at that. Oh, just falling apart. Yeah. Let's see. That is just... Look at that. Oh, there you go. All right, there you go. Look at that. Super juicy. All that fat is just rendered real nice, breaking apart. Yeah. There we go. All right, let's give it a taste. All right, cheers. Oh, that's super good. That is super smoky. The pepper on there is just right. Not too much. It definitely brings out the smoke profile. That is just good stuff right there. Oh yeah. Look at that. Look at that. All right, so there you go, guys. This was all done using the Kamado grills and the ChefsTemp ProTemp S1 and Breezo fan and the ProTemp 2 Plus probes. It was super easy on me, stress-free. I got to hang out inside for most of the day. Just monitor from the app, got my alerts, and checked on it when I needed to. So if you like this video, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. And you should go check out our friends at ChefsTemp.com and check out all the new gear that they got. All right. So thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you around.